certified most accurate weather team at First Coast News.
It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm Chief Meteorologist Lewis Turner here at First Coast News, and we are watching the tropics. We're tracking no specific storm, still no actual storm to track. Nonetheless, if this is the first that you have kind of consumed any sort of weather information here over the day or the last 24 hours, the very latest with our area to monitor from the National Hurricane Center is still 40% chance, so a medium risk now of some sort of tropical development within this area that's shaded in orange. A lot of modeling still suggesting some sort of low on an old stationary front sitting out towards the Atlantic. Now, that's enough for me here on air, but we will continue streaming. If you go to First Coast News Plus right now, we'll be there with an extended forecast. Join us.
This is a Tracking the Tropics update with a certified most accurate weather team at First Coast News.
Well, I guess on First Coast News Plus, welcome everybody. If you were just watching that 1 minute song and dance I just did, that was on actual traditional broadcast, but you're watching here on digital stream. You're in the wave of the future, folks. And I'll reintroduce myself in case you missed the beginning. I'm Lewis Turner, Chief Meteorologist for First Coast News. Hot and black, the way I love it. And we're in Jacksonville, Florida. You'd be watching from anywhere, right? And I do want to get us a tropical update. I want to go through, I don't know, a dozen or more forecast graphics for you here in the next 14 minutes time as we talk about an area that we have been watching for several days. The Hurricane Center has had that essentially the same area. It's shifted a bit, more inclusive of the Atlantic side of things here for the Atlantic side of Florida, South Carolina, Georgia. But you can't rule out that area off the coast of Tampa either. So we're going to watch that very carefully and kind of explain why as I kind of go back over to the big weather monitor here. We call it the Wham here at the TV studio. So let's move to the big synoptic picture. So the culprit in all of this, and it's been a consistent culprit, is a front that is going to stall out, or essentially is stalling out. Currently going to go stationary. That's the changing of the fronts right there as we had that cool front going stationary here over northeast Florida and drifting a bit back forth. That's what makes it stationary. It's a fight between really, really hot tropical air and a cooler, now not cold by any stretch of the imagination, folks in Atlanta will say we're not cold, but a cooler air, and drier air mass to the north. Also, you get wind shifts on either side. You get differing winds on either side of a front. You get more of a west and southwest wind to the south of a front like this, and you get traditionally a more northwest or even at times a northeast wind behind the front. That's important when it comes to cyclogenesis, which is the birth of a cyclone, a low pressure system. A cyclone is a scary word, but it really just means you're getting cyclonic flow, counterclockwise flow around an area of low pressure. That's all that means, and that is very easy to happen when you get fronts like this setting up, especially over peninsular Florida when you're dealing with bathwater on either side of the peninsula. So tell you all that as the front kind of moves through Friday, Saturday, and it's really Saturday that computer modeling has been zeroing in on. So Saturday is when cyclogenesis seems to really kind of take effect. Now, we're already watching a few lows out there trying to spin in both the Gulf and the Atlantic, but consistent runs has continued to suggest that we would see low pressure develop here along our front, wrapping around that low right here on that front that's going stationary right off the coast of Florida. I'm hearing the footsteps and the pitter-patter of Lee Southwick, and that means she's going to be joining me very soon, which I'm excited about. Meteorologist here at First Coast News, she'll be with me here in just a moment. So looking at Saturday, we see our low. We see this indicated one by the wind field, so we're getting the wrap around, the counterclockwise wrap around, but we're also seeing the isobars. So the tightening of isobars, or at least when you're getting the full-on closed isobar, that can suggest you're seeing a low pressure system developing as well. All of that to say, that looks like at least on some aggressive computer modeling, that looks like the development of a tropical depression. So that would be a wind maker in the form of 15 to 20, 25 mile an hour gusts along our beaches as we go to Saturday, Sunday, but even higher wind potential as we look up towards the Carolinas as that low would drift that way. So we're talking about some bigger winds there. Would you like to join me, Lee? Come on down. It's Lee Southwick, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, what's the pitter patter?
It was the pitter patter of your
pitter
feet.
patter. So I need to walk lighter, is what you're saying.
No, you're just like kind of
Could you all hear it
gingerly
home?
trying to.
I was
get
trying
into
to
the
on
green
my
room.
tiptoes. These heels can be loud.
Digital stream. So right off to this side, we got a little green room where you can put on your microphones. All right, so I'm looking at satellite radar. So we were showing the synoptic picture. Now I'm going to kind of do the big Florida picture just for the
it's a
here
mess.
and now. It is a mess. It's a tropical mess. So while we wait on that front to go stationary and for some get drier air, especially in parts of South Georgia, for us, we're being to the south of that front right now, we're left with a whole heap of moisture.
Yeah, a lot of this. So we're watching some of that lightning now starting to pop over our local area a lot more. Unfortunately today, not as big of a travel day as tomorrow, but today's still a travel day with it approaching the holiday weekend, and anyone heading towards Orlando, Tampa, Miami, just a bad weather day when it comes to travel, and unfortunately same tomorrow when it is a big weather day.
So looking at, show you the big Florida-wide map, kind of your main interstates if you were to be traveling, of course, up and down 95 right now, and really I think through the rest of the afternoon, just off and on waves of rain. 75 corridor looks to be about the same as you can see the showers still coming out, and everything's still generally moving out of the southwest. Up towards Jacksonville, we've got a little bit of a sea breeze battle happening here that's meeting some of those westerlies. That's going to spark some storms, so even your trip out I-10. Really, I-4. All right, so
I-4, already also, a mess on a good day.
Already an issue, and it seems like right over Magic Kingdom, we're at least close enough. We're starting to get a few showers and storms starting to make it that way. I was focusing in on Tampa. We were tracking a few thunderstorms this time yesterday afternoon. Right now, mostly kind of to the east of the metro area, coming up towards Jacksonville. Some storms starting to fill into 295 as well for your travel if you were going to be getting out of town today. But kind of take an image of this map. It's going to be awfully similar tomorrow.
Yeah, it is, unfortunately. So tropical moisture, heavy rain, main concern. Flooding, that's a concern in Jacksonville and in Tampa, that localized flooding. Tampa's been dealing with drought conditions. We've been dealing with saturated grounds, and so there's no place for this water to go when it falls in Jacksonville. We've already had some localized flooding. You can see here as we start to get these thunderstorms ramped up, heavy rainfalls. If it falls over places like San Marco again, that creates that risk of flooding. And then for our friends in Tampa too, you all have that risk of localized flooding. That's why you also have a weather impact alert today and tomorrow, and again on Friday. And in fact, they might have a higher risk of flooding than we do here, especially as we head into Friday.
They remain in that excessive kind of rain risk. I'm going to show that in a moment as well. But as we continue our tour around Florida, continue to travel south down towards Miami for the rest of our afternoon. That's a big drive. So by the time you're getting to Fort Pierce, you're running into some pretty big thunderstorms that continue to come over the lake, and then over towards 95 West Palm, Fort Lauderdale. And then I always like to check in on my friends in Monroe County, and you guys are just peachy. Which is susceptible to the shower and thunderstorm activity. So looking at our Thursday, as we get through the afternoon, evening, again, another round of the sea breeze, collision thunderstorms while we have our weather impact alert for Thursday. Friday, this looks encouraging. You still have the isolated to scattered showers and thunderstorms. So certainly we'll have the lightning risk during the day part of your 4th of July. So that could impact the pool, could impact your outdoor grilling, things like that, the bikes up and down Jacksonville Beach.
And boaters, I'm concerned about too.
Had a lot of questions about boaters.
Yeah.
A lot of that. So is it safe? Is it good? I mean, I had folks wanting to go out on the boat tomorrow. My advice, my sincerest advice is by all means, but don't go 2 hours away from the dock.
Right.
You know what I mean? Be able to, go enjoy, but be able to get back within, a 20 to 30 minute run. You know what I mean? So you can get back and be safe.
So if you're heading to the sandbar, be able to pack up quickly, move out quickly.
Not the best kind of sandbar. Because you see those storms coming, you got to be able to head back towards the hill. But you get Friday evening. Certainly could have a few stray showers, but so far seeming like the fireworks are looking good. Now, Saturday is pretty interesting on the in-house model as we're starting to see a little bit of some low pressure activity kind of develop, and that would be indicative of some more tropical development. So kind of here is what we're watching. Even though, you're watching some of the satellite picture, starting to see lows, but we're getting that all up and down either side, and that's kind of typical for those thunderstorms offshore.
Yeah, so with this, something that I've been bringing up in the past couple of cut-ins that we've done and streaming that we've done is our general manager, Tim Thomas, had mentioned that it might be confusing how on Sunday we said 10% chance, but now we have a 40% chance. It's a medium chance, and that's confusing how it's increased. Well, the messaging has stayed the same. Our forecast has stayed the same, but what has happened is we've had a bit more agreement when it comes to models, and that is how we let you know low, medium, high risk. When models start to come into agreement, we start to become a bit more certain about something developing. So some models have started to agree, and Lou, correct me if you think differently, but I think a lot of the models have started to put it in the Atlantic and even closer to the Carolina coasts, but some still have it off our coast, and occasionally a low that pops near Tampa and then kind of moves over and starts to organize once it moves into the Atlantic. But that's why it has gone up into that medium risk. We're not saying it's going to happen. We're not saying it's not going to happen.
Right.
Just models are starting to agree a little bit more on maybe some organization, tropical or subtropical.
You're blending in with my map. I mean, really, a lot of
come over here.
The birth
There
of a cyclone, the cyclogenesis that we were talking about kind of at the beginning of this. And think about another element of this is your Gulf Stream. So
Yes.
very, very warm river of water running south to north. That could, of course, enhance when you see the thunderstorms develop 50, 60 miles off. It's why a lot of times at night, when we've had the thunderstorms end over land, but you're still seeing the lightning show out towards the beaches.
Yes.
It's because thunderstorms are popping about 50 to 60 miles offshore over those really warm waters. So more kind of indication of the low that modeling continues to suggest that will be over the Atlantic, vorticity, seeing some wraparound. I'm seeing a couple of ideas of maybe a low popping in the Gulf. Why I'm encouraged by not too much development. Shear has been our friend throughout all of this, and I've consistently noticed a good bit of wind shear at the mid and upper levels.
Right, and so it should even more on Saturday. And I think that's why if something develops, the models really showing us that it would be more on Sunday or into early next week because the shear backs off from the Carolina coast a bit, but still, like you mentioned, right over Jacksonville, which is more promising for us in our area.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so here's what I was talking about, and you mentioned this, the excessive rain risk really for Tampa as we go through the rest of our day, getting into Thursday. We kind of come out of that, even that marginal level, but this is really indicative of the potential for flash flooding rains. Not that just going to get any rain, but the excessive level is when you're talking about like flash flooding.
And so although Jacksonville's not highlighted, just a friendly reminder that with our grounds that are saturated, if a thunderstorm still sets up over those saturated grounds, we could still see that localized flooding. So it's more that flash flood potential for Tampa, and in Jacksonville, we just can't rule out that isolated localized flooding.
And more encouraging news for Friday, even tighter kind of polygon drawn there with the excessive risk. So, and then looking at the full length through the weekend of forecasted rainfall, getting even into Sunday, and just not overly impressed with the totals in Northeast Florida. And even the totals for Tampa have backed off a bit. I mean, it's more, but they have backed off a bit. I mean, at the beginning of all this, we were looking at potentially 6 inches falling in Tampa in the 75 corridor, and it has certainly backed off.
Tampa, our friends over in Tampa are saying right now they're going with about 3 to 5 for the coastal areas, but then inland 1 to 3 inches.
There you go. And that Jacksonville is kind of indicating the 1.5 over, and that's an average over a big area. There's certainly could be areas where you get under a big strong storm and you get 2 to 3 inches in a very isolated pocket. All right, Hurricane Flossie. Yesterday, Ross made me floss. Can you do it? You got to floss?
I don't want to do it right now.
There, it's easy.
That was no effort.
I didn't promise effort. I just promised Rossi would make me flossy.
Can't do it.
And we can say that because this Category 2 storm is going to be out in the middle of the ocean. So
goodbye.
All good there. One more look at our future casts as we go through our Thursday, the pop-up showers and storms. Watch Friday. Get through our afternoon, quick round of storms. Again, I remain encouraged that fireworks should be okay. We're gonna have a lot more here in about at 4 o'clock, I say 45 minutes time. We'll be over with Ross continuing
Sounds
to
good.
stream. Y'all have a good one.
This is a Tracking the Tropics update with a certified most accurate weather team at First Coast News.